Makes it good. Come on, come on, come on. Makes it good. Easy, you're here with myself, DLR, and Plugin Boutique. I am going to have a look at the Flux Alchemist plugin today. Now, Alchemist is a multiband dynamics processor. I'm going to use it today on a drum loop for a simple demonstration of how you can add a bit more punch and snap into that drum loop if the drum loop's maybe, perhaps a little bit maxed out. This is a drum loop that I made a month or two ago. Purposefully, it is quite maxed out. It's got some reverb in there. It's got a lot of grit in there, and it needs to be sorted out in a context of using it in a tune. So I'm going to have a look specifically first at the low mids. Now, just to run you through a couple of features on this plugin. We've got input gain here. We've got a dry mix to bring some of the dry signal back in. We've got an output gain. We've got a clipper to help us clip the output to control any unwanted peaks and to avoid any red lights in the mix. We've got the knee for the clipper and the ceiling, which just helps us control the sound, really. We've got a bypass, which is incredibly useful. It sounds simple and stupid, really, but every professional needs a bypass, and just to compare exactly to what you originally had. Maybe what you've done is actually much worse than what you intended or what you originally had. So we're going to have a look at this low mid band to give you a quick play of this drum loop. And you can hear the bypass doesn't actually add any clicks or pops, so you get no latency bypassing, which is really useful, I think. Basically, for me, the low mids are way too clattery and long and splashy, and the reverb tails over too much, and I want control on there. I've got a compressor set up here with an easygoing ratio, the threshold relatively low. I'm going to bring the output gain up a bit to fight some of the compression. The release is fast released and a longer attack. It's not that long in the grand scheme, but that's allowing that punch to push through, but then controlling it. So you're controlling the tail, really, and bringing that tail down, which is really handy. Just add snap into your drum loop again. Adding a bittersweet will add more punch in that frequency too, because that's a transient designer which is dependent on whatever frequency that you want to use it on. So let's have a little listen. So let's add the compressor. So it's a little bit extreme. Let's bring the gain up. I do like what the compressor's doing, but let's add some bittersweet and some more punch. And you can see here it's on post. Post actually means that you're coming after any of these stages down here. I haven't got this GC on, which is gain control, which is really intelligent. It helps you to, the plugin actually itself helps you control the gain when you're adding that added gain to your transient, so it doesn't go too much. I actually want quite extreme here. Let's have a little bypass, see where we're at. So you can hear that the punch is added now. I want more snap on my tops, so I've got compressor again set up on my top here. Similar thing, controlling the tails, faster release, bittersweet, which is set up too. So let's have a little let's have a little listen, see what that's doing. And that's absolutely obliterating the tops. So I've listened earlier. I like the snap that it's introducing. Let's bring that output gain up to try and fight that compression again. Turn that off. So let's add some bittersweet, add more punch on the front there. So let's give it a little bypass. Bypass is what we need here. Hopefully you can hear the same as I'm hearing here. Basically what we've got is a much snappier drum loop, much punchier, less washy, which is really going to help us place it into our mix with all of the other elements like the pads, the bass, and any other elements that you want to introduce with this loop. Maybe you want to add it on top of another drum loop that you've already got running in a track. So there's some really quick basic functions. Remember, you can pick this up from pluginboutique.com. Make sure you get yourself down there as soon as possible. Thanks a lot for listening. Until next time.